Hello, this is Pat Walker, Emission Winners. I'm doing a video overview of the major index ETFs and the MAXLIST. I love the MAXLIST. I put it together years ago. It is my go-to list. That's what we do when we look at the stocks. Be safe. And one of the best things you can do is understand charts, know when to get in. You better know when to get out. Everybody talks a lot about getting in. I got to get in. We're going to get in. Oh, this is great. It's a cup and handle. Let's go. You got to have rules and tactics to get in. And guess what? You got to have rules and tactics to get out. How do you get there? Study charts. So let's do it. What do you say? Here we go. Here's QQQ. Video analysis. Down on heavy volume. See this? Note this. Rallying on steadily decreasing volume. Drops on heavy volume. Perhaps it will lift off the 21 EMA. We're coming into the end of the year, so we'll watch it and see what happens. Same thing true with QLD. That was serious selling, though, 3 days ago. So we'll see what it can do. Spiders fell on a pickup in volume. This trend is still up on both of these, by the way. Okay? The trend is still up, but we need to start seeing some turn here. SSO, same thing as spiders, down on heavy volume. IWM, a little bit stronger. Check this out. Below the 8 EMA. On SSO, QLD below the 8 EMA, IWM above the 8 EMA. What does that tell you? It tells you that small caps are a little bit better. There you go. Same thing is true with TNA, which is the leveraged IWM. So let's continue onwards. Let's look at some MAXLIST stocks. Here we go. Apple, big long base right here, okay, started to lift on Wednesday. Lifts across these tops and volume's good, and then it reverses down on a pickup in volume. That's a sell signal on this deal. You got to be really careful. Also, I'll share this with you. Please don't think you got to limit losses at 7-8%. A clean and simple entry will give you a clean and simple exit for a much smaller loss. Amazon, just kind of languishing down here, okay? There's really nothing good. You've got some bottoms down here, though. You see that? There's a bottom here, and a bottom right there. And it fell, dropped, and closed near the highs. Perhaps it will lift off. Now, this is something we look at Mission Winners. This is the daily chart. Take it to 30-minute. Some volume came into it in the close. Look at the hourly. Yeah, a little bit of volume, but definitely on the 30 minutes, some volume came into the close. Now, go back here to the daily. And I'll ask you, is this a setup that you'll see in a lot of books saying, this is what you'll look for? No. Is it a clean and simple flat base? No. It's more advanced. So how do you control risk? Let's suppose that on Monday, this takes out today's highs. How can you control risk? This is what we teach at Mission Winners all the time. How can you control risk? Buy less shares. That's how you can control risk. One size fits all? Don't do that. You keep doing that and eventually you won't have to worry about having any rules because you'll lose your money. We don't want to do that. There's Alibaba. Look at this chart. It's below all the moving averages. Is there anything good about this? Nah. Move on. Baidu on news picked up. Note the volume. I say this all the time. People talk with their mouths and vote with their pocketbooks. Guess what? They voted there and it lifted up. There you go. Facebook, news, runs up. Look at this. Gaps up, runs up, reverses down on a pickup in volume. That's no good, folks. That's serious selling. It's just chopping around right now. Maybe it'll settle down, and if it does, you'll be ready with a clear head. Goldman Sachs has had a steady trend, which is nice to see. Big bank. Google fell on heavy volume, then gaps down and reverses up, okay, on a little bit less volume. And this is the question you have to ask yourself. You look at this and you say, is this a high probability setup? It's tough. It could bounce off the 21 EMA. But then the question I have for you is what will it need? What will you require? What will we require? That's easy for me to say, for this to be bought. It needs a good market and it needs to lift off on volume. Is this a clean and simple setup? No. No, it's not. Netflix, just chopping around here. Lifted up on news, but no, not really heavy volume. And what's it do? Comes right back. Just chopping around. Wouldn't it be nice, though, if it goes sideways and then goes across these tops right here? And guess what I'll do for you? We'll draw it through there. Maybe it will. We'll see. We'll see. NVIDIA. NVIDIA starts to lift, and it takes it right back. What does that tell you? It's not ready yet. Don't argue with it. It's a great company and it's got great numbers. I'll stay with it. Okay, that's fine. We'll see where it goes. It was a great company here too at 586, and it was a great company down here at 506. It's only 80 points. So I'm not trying to sound cute. My point is this. Always remember, a clean and simple entry will give you a clean and simple exit for a much smaller loss. There's really not much clean and simple here. Square started to go and it just can't get through. What was a telltale sign? This bar right here. Gaps up, runs up, and reverses down on a pickup in volume. What does that tell you? There's sellers up there. You got to be careful with it. Tesla is great. Tesla's just great. Bought here. Here's a classic example of buying right. The person that said, oh man, on this bar right here, when it's gapping up, this is great. It's going to be on the S&P 500. I'm going to buy that gap up. I'm going to kick butt. Yeah, and how does that feel? All right? Don't do that. Buy it right. Buy right, sit tight. We bought it here. We're fine. We sold some into strength. Everything's fine. And by the way, please don't always brag. Good Lord, no, that's lame. I'm just trying to point out what to look for, what to do. It makes it easier. Twitter took off on news. Wouldn't it be nice if this could just form a little handle right here for a couple of days? Draw it here. Little handle here for a couple of days. And then it lifts off. It's kind of a cup and a handle, isn't it? What will it need though, team? What's it going to need? It's going to need volume. Why do I say that? There's serious selling here and here. Has turned a corner, so we'll watch it and see what happens. Let's continue onwards. Here's Visa. What do you see here? I don't see anything. It's just going sideways. What's it need to do? It needs to at least go across these tops here. Not yet. And what's the sister stock to Visa? Oh, gee whiz, it's MasterCard. Isn't that funny? Look at the Visa chart. Look at the MasterCard chart. Surprise, surprise, as Gomer Pyle says. Just, they're the same, pretty much the same. Falling here, falling here. Down here, down here. Leave them alone for right now. We'll round it out with with Microsoft. Just going sideways. Perhaps it'll lift through here, and that would be good to see. We'll have to see what happens. Anyway, here's the game plan. We're coming into the end of the year, all right? Seasonally, the end of the year is really good. Is it going to be really good this year? I don't forecast. And I encourage you, don't forecast. Just get in line with what's happening. And there's a tremendous amount of information. In fact, all the information you need is price and volume. Watch them. People talk with their mouths and vote with their pocketbooks. Go where they're voting. Focus on clean and simple. If you can do that, you will do much better. Now I'm going to flip it over and I'm just going to show you a couple of clean and simple bases. All right. And again, this is not bragging. It's just explaining things. I was an IBD meetup Cody leader for 12 years. I love teaching this. I love explaining it. You know what it is? I read this years ago. It's a treasure hunt. We're looking for the next winner. So here, I'm just going to show you a couple clean and simple bases to help you. Here we go. AOSL, bought there. Look at that. Just going across those tops. Multi-week base and it lifts off on a pickup in volume, runs. Shorter base here, more aggressive. You buy there, you better be careful because shorter bases are less reliable. Longer bases are more reliable. That's something really good to remember. We bought this here. Been a great trend. Bought it here, bought more here, had to manage it. Sold some into the strength here, by the way, which was great. Okay, that's a good gain. You know, you buy it down here at 17 and you see it run up to 26 something. That's a 50% gain. That's good money. So here we go. Let's rock and roll. GRWG. Now, this is more fancy. Bought it right here, bouncing off. What was it doing? Bouncing off the rising 8 EMA. Earnings are great. Ran up, sold some into strength. Why? Shorter base right here. Not a real clean and simple base. Just want to show you this. Lee, own right there. In great shape, working. Shutterstock, this is probably the best example. Look at that base. I'll slide it over so you can see it. Look, it's just going sideways. You're like, gosh, that's clean and simple line. I could draw that with a crayon. You know, your third grade child could draw with a crayon. If it takes out those tops, mom and dad, maybe we should buy some. Boom. Look at the volume. And you're off to the races. There you go. And it works. PDD. Pinduoduo. Entry right there. Look at that long base. I call that sweet potato pie. Lifts off. The point is this. If you can focus on clean and simple bases, and I'll say this, Please don't think you got to wait for the cup and handle. If you wait for the cup and handle, you'll starve to death. Focus on a couple of clean and simple chart patterns that are conceptually easy to see and conceptually easy to understand. That means other people understand it and see it too. They'll vote with you. They'll buy with you.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We come up with new content nearly every day. Also, check out the videos on the right. YouTube recommends the one on the top, and the bottom one is something we thought you might enjoy. See you next time.